Good evening, everyone. My name is Christian Karasevich. I'm the founder of Social Chefs, and I've got my buddy, Mr. Vincent Orlick, my co-host here with me today. We are going to talk about the latest in social media news from this past week. And I do have to say, a lot of it this week deals with Facebook. It seems to be a growing trend, I guess. So what do we got going on here, by the way? Oh, what is that? Is that the new tool, Masquerade?
That is Masquerade, which we're going to talk about in a little bit.
So just a quick note for everybody. If you want to send us any tweets, we have quite a couple of handles here. You can either tweet at Social Chefs. That's the brand. We also have my Twitter handle as well, which is at CKROKS. And we also have Mr. Vincent Orlick at Vincent Orlick. You can also include the hashtag social chatter. And
right here.
Absolutely, it's right there at the top as well. And you can also use hashtag social chatter as well. We'll be using that as well to show when we're talking about some of the different topics. So let's kick things off with, as I mentioned, it's going to be a lot about Facebook today, but topic number one, and this is actually, it's funny. It seems like every week we talk about something possibly happening on Facebook, and then the following week it tends to get rolled out. This week we have some really good news for Facebook pages. So if you're a business owner, topic number one is Facebook live video for pages.
Woohoo!
And Vincent, we talked about this last Friday.
We've been talking about this forever, ever since they rolled it out on Facebook for personal profiles. We've been waiting for this.
So tell people about this. So what is it? Let's talk about what it is.
So it's as everyone likes to call it, Periscope for Facebook, but now it's also available on business pages, which is huge for especially the big brands out there. I saw CNET, I think, just now going live from South by Southwest, talking about how Snapchat is hiring wearable designers. They were on Facebook Live. I see some brands starting to use it now. It's funny though, isn't it funny the timing that we talked about? I think we talked about this last week, right? Or about the notification option, where Facebook came out and said that they're going to give people the ability to turn off the notifications for live streams on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting the timing of that they released the ability for brands and business pages to go live on the page, but then they also gave took away the ability, or gave the ability to users. We lost Christian, but that's all right. He'll be back. They gave the ability to individual users, to turn off notifications specifically for live streaming. So that's interesting timing. I mean, I think it's the right move. You're back. Good. I think it's the right move. Christian, you can tell me if you agree or disagree, but I think it's the right move on Facebook's part, because they're giving people the option to opt out of getting notified about live streams, which I see people complain about getting notified. I'm like, mm-hmm. Really? Like, is that, again, this whole like first world Facebook problems? What? Calm down. Just calm down. Don't be on Facebook if you don't like what it does. Mm-hmm. Just roll with it. So, but yeah, interesting timing for that notification thing. But Facebook Live on business pages, brand pages, basically Periscope on Facebook for brands now. So I do think you're going to start to see brands using it more heavily for events. Again, the timing is interesting with South by Southwest mm-hmm. Being this week, and right. that just rolled out within the last week or so. Mm-hmm. They're probably anticipating a lot of brands will use that or want them to use that instead of Periscope,
right?
As the competitor. So what do you think?
So it's actually really interesting. So let's talk about timing real quick. Wasn't it like last year around this time was it Meerkat, I think, came out?
Yes, right. It was the hot thing at South by, mm-hmm. and it blew up, and that's when I became aware of it. That's when everybody kind of like jumped on the Meerkat bandwagon.
Overall, I think that this is going to be. I'm actually really excited about this. It sort of has me thinking. We do Blab every week.
Yep.
It sort of has me thinking, hey, you know what? Should I move this over to Facebook Live video for my page?
Well, how would you do that though? Because you can't. We're not in the same place.
Right.
So I guess you're dumping me.
All right. Well, no, I mean, that's a very good observation. But it makes me think, like, okay, how would this feature work? How could it work? Like, because Jessica mentioned great reach here. And I'm assuming she's talking about Facebook reach for using live video for pages.
Well, it depends on the size of your page, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, size matters in this case, because I know people that have, they're asking me, the folks that work for the company that I manage the brand for online.
Right.
And you know, if your page only has 50 followers, well, you probably want to go live from your profile. Unless you can go live from your page and then which is on your mobile, right? And you go on the desktop and you go and share it to your personal. But I still don't think that'll have the exact same effect as doing it from your personal profile.
That's actually really interesting because it sounds so convoluted to say, okay, let me go on my mobile device. Let me go on to Facebook video for pages. Let me open my desktop and then go share it or have someone else do that for me or whatnot. So I think I think it's a really good feature. I think that, it does make me want, granted, I'm not going to move away from Blab at the moment, but it does make me wonder, okay, is this some play that will Facebook maybe get into having multiple camera support?
Like a Hangout.
I honestly, like, here's a feature I would love to see. I would love to see this particular feature come to Facebook pages, not just for individuals, which I think is awesome right now to start with, but have it where, for instance, if you're an admin on my page, have you on there, myself, be able to, kind of collaborate and run different things through my Facebook page. I think it would make it a lot more sticky. And, I think it would give people more of an opportunity to connect with whoever the people are behind some of these brands. That's my thoughts on it. I mean, I love the idea of it for events. I think there's a lot of possibilities for this.
And really, basically, Facebook gave this ability to the people that had the mentions app a long time ago. He's photobombing me. I see you. I see you.
What's going on?
Coworker. Facebook gave the ability to people that had the access to the mentions app, which were celebrities and brands. Through that way, and now they just basically open it up to any pages that are out there. That it's still being rolled out. Every page does not have it yet. A lot do, but not everyone. There's even still some personal profiles that don't have it available yet.
Right, and I did want to say, one thing we didn't actually talk about real quick was that how do people go about adding this? And they do that by opening the Facebook Pages Manager app. And then within the Pages Manager app, there will be an icon there. It'll be basically it's a person icon. Well, one step back. You go to create a new post, and then within the Pages Manager app, actually, go ahead and click on that. Let's see if that actually. Okay, so you open Pages Manager, you select the page you want to manage.
So I have it on my social media club one, and then you go to post.
Awesome.
Publish.
And then at that point, there's going to be a little icon at the bottom. It's going to be a person with almost like a little circle around it, like two circles.
Let me see if I can point. This is when the Blab screen share will come into play nicely.
Yes, exactly.
Like right there. And then if I click on it, it pulls that up.
Absolutely. It's going to launch the camera, tell you, hey, you're going to broadcast it. At that point, once you start your broadcast, it's going to then create a video that's going to then end up on your Facebook page. That's a regular video post. So...
And if you've used Periscope, it does the same thing. You title it, and you can put emojis, and then you can select. Well, actually, there's not really. You're going to go public from your page. You have no choice, which is fine. I mean, I don't know that anybody would want to go to a certain group on there, but I don't know. Christian will be right back. We lost him again, but that's okay. So yeah, this is a pretty big deal. This is something that we've kind of been waiting for. The first thing that we were waiting for was Facebook Live ability initially for everybody, for personal profiles. And then when that rolled out, we were like, okay, well, let's wait until they give it to brands because then that's going to be a huge deal. And now it's here. So it took a year. Like you mentioned, Meerkat was a year ago. And Meerkat is going to have its rightful place as really the first on the scene of this new wave of live streaming. We know that there was live streaming before with Google Hangouts and Ustream and Spreecast. We know. With this new palm of your hand, easy to use, 1 or 2 clicks away to being live to everyone. Meerkat was the first about a year ago, and a year later, we're already up to Facebook everyone, personal profiles and brands on their pages have the ability now also. So a lot happened in a year.
Absolutely. By the way, so before going to and I completely agree, I'm looking forward to this feature. I mean, I could, it's really interesting. I think a lot of this is even going to just play right into Facebook ads. I mean, imagine being able to, I know we've talked a lot about this topic, but imagine being able to run Facebook ads to advertise that I'm going to be on a live stream.
Or directly into the live stream. Like, so at the same time, you can schedule the ad, even day part it to be for that certain time, and you're on live and the ad takes them right into the live stream.
Absolutely.
That would be pretty amazing.
I think this is going to be really cool.
It's a big deal. It is a big deal.
I'm super excited about this. I mean, just extremely excited.
It's funny, Christian, because it feels like, so if it's all about timing, right? Like if this happened before the others, it would be humongous news.
Yeah.
A year ago, right? If it happened even a year ago in between Meerkat and Periscope, humongous news. If it happened right after Periscope came out, would still be humongous news. But it's, like we're all so jaded that people aren't really thinking about it. It's not on top of mind. It's like, Facebook finally went live stream, and so it's like, almost like an afterthought.
So I love all the possibilities here. The one thing that I definitely am wondering probably the most about this is it still goes back to the same thing we talk about every single week, which is if I'm a business and I'm on Twitter and I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and I'm using all these social networks, right? Like it still is going to come back to you have to have a very sound social media strategy in order to get something out of it. Like there's all these features, all these bells and whistles that are out there, all these opportunities. It doesn't matter what you use. You could say, hey, I'm just going to use a Facebook page. Oh, I'm going to you could just post a live video, for example. You can do all these like specific tools and use them in your business. But I think the key thing is you have to have very sound social media strategy in order to get anything out of it. And like you said, I mean, you have to roll with the punches on things. I mean, because things change and just you have to be willing to make those adjustments. So, and
let's not forget the other thing that rolled down the pipe last week that we were talking about was how Facebook is giving priority to live video in the feed. So, I mean, they're clearly
putting a live streaming platform, and you're not going to have just text updates in the news feed. You're going to have, I mean, there's so many opportunities.
Clearly, they're like, okay, Periscope, we saw what you did. That was cute. Twitter, cute. But we have the most engaged users, the most amount of users. We're going to throw this on people's profiles and pages. And we're going to show you how to do it. And brands are going to use it because with Periscope, you really haven't seen this huge influx of brand usage even.
Right.
It really hasn't been. I mean, there've been a few, but not anything really super significant, I would say. It's with this, I totally feel like they're going to start because they've already kind of got that experience using Periscope, using Meerkat, using other live streaming. Now they're almost like experts. Like they have a plan they know, okay, within like a week, we could have a strategy, have a plan, know exactly what we're doing on our page with our live feed and what we want to put on it. And they can implement it, execute it way quicker. And it makes way more sense in most cases because maybe they have 3 million followers on Facebook that are all going to get a notification saying that they just went live, as opposed to on Twitter, with Facebook, they're going to get that notification. They're going to get it right away because they have those notifications turned on, but they don't have their Twitter notifications turned on.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's all kinds of benefits. It's crazy. It's crazy how many more benefits Facebook has to do live streaming, live video, whatever you want to call it, than the others. And it absolutely could and has potential to blow away Periscope.
I think so. I mean, it's so interesting though, just seeing this. I mean, just seeing all of these, I'm fascinated by what direction this could go. I mean, it could go anywhere. I mean, all these like last week we talked about, we're going to get on the topic too, but we talked about like, Meerkat last week changing up things. And, now it's like, okay, well, this almost suggests to me like, hey, Facebook's going to get into the streaming business. And heck, you know what? They're even going to get into, I know they were looking at NFL rights, possibly buying, I think, Thursday night games or something.
Yeah, about live streaming the NFL games on Thursday nights.
I mean,
they're in the bidding. They're bidding. They're in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're trying to do.
I mean, imagine this. This is actually, this is what I think could also be really cool. Imagine if, and I thought GoPro was going to do this, but imagine being able to somehow get on field even. Not to say that would happen, like right now, like, oh, maybe they get into streaming games or whatever. But imagine being able to get on field and have things live streamed, for instance, from a player, where they've got a wearable camera or something on. That would be, to be able to stream it. Like, and granted, it's almost like playing a video game or something,
Yeah, but remember who created that like 20 years ago was the XFL.
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon. They had cameras in the helmets and on referees' hats.
Mm-hmm.
Like for some things, the XFL was ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Too ahead of it. It wasn't live streamed. Right. It was just a GoPro, and this was even before GoPros were really out. It was just they sat a little camera on helmets.
Mm-hmm. And
if you go Google XFL, highlights or XFL player angle or something, you can definitely find it. That footage is out there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. We can move on.
So I'm excited about this. So that's topic number one, guys. I know we talked a fair amount about this topic, but it's a great topic. By the way, I did want to ask Vincent, do you actually have the option over there on the left to tweet out some of the topics we're talking about?
I don't right now. Oh, well, you're still listed as the host. I can't edit the topic. No.
Let me see if I can make you a.
Oh, and I don't have the tweet button. I have share last 30 seconds.
Let's see. Huh. Yeah, I don't have the. It's interesting. I used to have it, but okay, not a big deal.
It was there. Well, I think the tweet and Facebook button disappears when the share last 30 seconds button comes up, and then but they go back and forth.
Not a big deal. Yeah, just that's why I was dropping off a bunch, by the way. So,
gotcha.
Topic number two, by the way. Topic number two is another big topic this week, and topic number two is instant articles coming to WordPress.
I'm interested to hear your take on this because I saw this and I was talking about it here in the office with my coworker, our content marketing guy, and it seems like a good thing, but I want to hear like your thoughts on it.
So, well, let's talk about what it is first. So, okay, what is this exactly? So basically, Facebook is rolling out a way for you to be able to publish articles from your blog over to basically to Facebook and have instant articles applied to it. It's a little bit, it's interesting because, how you typically install a WordPress plugin, you download a file, you upload it to your website hosting, or you upload it through your WordPress dashboard. And then once it's there, people will be able to then activate it. So, it's the dummy's guide to installing WordPress plugins. This one that was interesting, so you have to go to GitHub, you got to download a whole bunch of stuff, basically download a file, and then you can install it and that sort of stuff. So it's interesting that they're doing it this way. I think from a developer standpoint, it's great because most people are into that. But if it's the average user that's going to go do this, they are going to probably, I think, maybe have a hard time trying to get it installed. But the instructions are on the Facebook blog, which is actually linked to here. So I would recommend that you definitely go check that out if you are interested in installing this. So overall, what do I think about instant articles? I think it's going to be a really good. I think it's going to be, a lot of people talk about guest blogging, right? And they talk about, like a lot of people say, well, hey, let me put all my content on my own blog. I think having instant articles and tying into probably some of these main blogs that are out there, like your entrepreneurs, your inks, and that sort of stuff. I think this is going to be a very useful feature for somebody to be able to go and use instant articles, and also not just use them on their own personal content, but use it on third-party content that, for sites they're blogging for. I think it's very, very useful there because it's going to help get your name out there. And I don't think that you have to be somebody who is, if you're a professional writer and you write for one of these sites, like awesome, more power to you. But this is also, I think, going to open the door for people that want to go guest blog on some of these major sites to reach out to them and potentially, be able to write some articles for them. What are your thoughts, by the way?
Like I said, it seems like a really positive thing. I'm actually surprised that it's taken this long for this to happen because Facebook's whole news initiative.
Right.
And being a publishing platform has been around for a while, you know, and I'm surprised that this didn't follow quicker after they started going with the whole showing trending topics and all that, because this is along those lines, it feels like. With that being said, I mean, we're waiting to use it. We won't use it right away. I mean, I know we won't as a company, but I'm curious to see what it does, like what the actual impact is. So are you saying you think that more people will utilize, which is what Facebook wants, if this is true, they want more people to stay on Facebook.
We definitely know that, yeah.
And publish on Facebook. So this will kind of go towards accomplishing that goal.
Yep. That's what I think is going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then that falls totally in line with what they always try to do.
And, you know, and I mean, kind of looking at this, I mean, you know, looking at just instant articles overall, I mean, I think that this is going to be I think in a way it's going to, I know that they want people to stay on their site more. So I think that's going to be one thing. I mean, but I think at the same time, it's going to also, in a way, sort of bring some, I don't want to say ROI, because it's not really going to bring ROI, but it's going to help bring more exposure, I think, to people who are creating this kind of content. So, you know, I think that that's going to be really good. You know, in a way, I think we also talked about Medium as well, kind of with this. But, you know, so overall, I mean, it's, you know, it's a hot topic, obviously. Of course, you know, you're not really going to, you know, if you read through some of these articles, they're talking about how they're trying to make some of this available by April 12th. So like you can install the plugin now, but, you know, more information obviously will come out F8 on April 12th. So this is actually really interesting too, because I'm actually talking about this on at Social Media Marketing World. It's in articles and Facebook notes, and so there's definitely obviously some things still moving.
It's big.
Yeah,
it's big.
So I'm excited. I'm excited about all these features. Really, I honestly am, because I like that they're making. It's adding a different, you know, a different twist to content. You know, you got so many different ways you can create content. I mean, I still think, you know, you need to create your content and house it on your own blog. But I think all these platforms, you know, all these tools, I mean, you know, at some point, all these channels, they want you to keep your content on their channel, because that's going to keep people on their site. You know, so again, you kind of, you know, just need to kind of find a good balance. And I think the key thing is actually probably repurposing more of your content than anything else. You know, finding some, you know, creative ways to put a little different spin on some things. So with that, I'm going to keep moving here, by the way. So let's see. So next item is videos for lead gen ads. I'll give you guys that one. That's actually topic number 3 for today. Topic number 3, Facebook debuts video for lead gen ads. And this is actually going to be pretty neat. Basically, it's a way for you to create, put this in. Let's see if I can package this for everybody. Basically, you're going to be able to create video units that have a call to action. It's so funny. It's almost like we're just reinventing things, you know?
Well, it feels like, doesn't it feel like it's like the cards, like YouTube cards and Twitter cards? It feels like it's the same type of thing. Absolutely. You know, I mean, the benefit here is, you know, you're basically going to create, what else? What are you going to have here, basically? So you're going to be able to create a system that's basically going to automatically add leads to your advertisers list. Pretty cool. There's also a neat feature. You can duplicate the lead forms that you create, edit the fields and so forth across your campaigns and so forth. So if you're running Facebook ads, it's perfect for you. So and it integrates with the other, like, you know, the infusion softs of the world that a lot of businesses use. Salesforce. I mean, that integration where it's going to tie that ad, that form that someone fills out on the ad, the video ad, which is what is the most popular thing that works right now. It'll take that information and integrate with your CRM platform, whatever you're using, Infusionsoft or Salesforce or Constant Contact, whatever it is that you use, which a lot of brands use those types of platforms. And so for the brands, yeah, I mean, this is for companies and brands, it's a big deal.
So that's that. If you want to learn more about it, there's a link to that. I think that this also kind of, in a way, I'm wondering how this is going to intersect with, remember how on Facebook pages within messages, you can also add tags to individuals? I think we're going to start to see some convergence here of that feature probably.
Yep.
To be able to have, maybe you tag somebody here, somebody there, maybe it, can somehow go into some sort of master list, I think. So, heck, at some point, would Facebook create their own email marketing service? It seems like they're basically getting into using, partnering in this case. But it does beg the question like what's going to happen here. So, with that, I'm going to move on to topic number 4. By the way, today, if anybody has any questions, you are totally welcome to ask us. Put them in the chat window here. We're happy to answer any of those, or you can send us a tweet at CKRocks at CKROKS, at Vincent Orlek, at Social Chefs, or hashtag Social Chatter. So topic number 4, this is the one I know you were excited about. Facebook buys Masquerade. And,
I think Zuckerberg is excited about this too.
I got to say, I really liked what they did with that, how they introduced it. I want to say that, and I'm trying to remember if Masquerade, I used this app like a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember if this was the same app.
I hadn't heard of it, to be honest. I'd never heard of it myself. But then as soon as I downloaded it and started using it, it's the same reason why I enjoy Snapchat.
Yeah.
The fun side of it. And so, but go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
So what I wanted to say,
because we know where this is going. We know where this is all going, right?
Yeah. So what I wanted to say with this, just real quick, was that I think this was previously used with a superhero movie. And they had it where you could put on I think this was actually tied into Iron Man.
Well, that's one of the options in there right now.
I want to say there was an app, and I think it was like a while ago, where you could basically put yourself inside of a superhero face, but I don't think I'm not sure if it was this app or not.
Right.
So, but basically, yeah,
might be.
Do it.
I don't know how to. There we go. Okay. I just
playing with it now.
Yeah, I was playing with it. What do you mean? Of course I'm playing with it. We're talking about it.
Absolutely. So I got to say, here's the thing. From a business's perspective, right.
Well,
that's actually cool. So I want to say that this was actually I think this was actually tied into the other promotion they were doing for Iron Man at one point, because it was a way for you to, put yourself inside the Iron Man suit, basically, which is pretty cool. Yep. But what I want to say about this is, and this is the part I'm still not sure about. How is this going to work from a business perspective? Is this going to be just, something for Facebook profiles to keep, people on Facebook? I don't necessarily see this being used from a business perspective, unless there's going to be a way for me to, again, who knows, possibly add my own branding or add elements to my business. For example, you might think this is cool. Some, our viewers might not kind of get this, but you sell your company as well. It was a direct marketing company, right?
Yeah, health and wellness products.
So you sell products, and I'm sure at your convention. So here's one example. You probably see people holding up, the picture with the Instagram cutout or something, right? This could be a cool way if this feature were available to be able to do that within Masquerade, maybe from a business perspective. Maybe you have something tied into your products. So you could create, you could almost kind of remember how Snapchat's doing this whole thing with for instance, you talked about with Gary Vee last week, where he could basically had his, certain. Well,
you can create your own, the on-demand geo filters.
What I'm thinking here,
do that now.
Let's say you could do that with this tool.
Mm-hmm. This is a little different because Snapchat has these already.
Right.
Has lenses. They come out. They have their own, lenses. They put new ones out every day here and there, like 1 or 2 new ones, and take others out.
Right.
But so there's the lenses, but then there's also the geo filters, which are the things that you slide to indicate where you are. You're at an event or something. To me, that's the bigger opportunity with this. I can see it because the branding, like you said, the movie studios did something with Iron Man. It's in there as it is right now. Leo DiCaprio's face is in there. The president's face is in there. Snoop Dogg's face is in there. So, it's to me, the initial benefit is for Facebook to buy that. Number one, it's like they're staying up to par, up to pace with Snapchat, which is their goal right now. They're dying to do that. It keeps people on Facebook, again, going back to that, where they're going to go on Facebook because they want to mess around with that and send people pictures and videos of themselves with the faces and stuff. So more time on the platform, which is what they're always going for. The branding opportunity, certainly, because I don't think that those are necessarily limited to just, a face or something like that. It's, if you look at Snapchat, you can do anything that comes up on the screen and moves. And you see on Snapchat, companies use those filters like a lot of movies do it. You see a lot of movies using them. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there. So it's fun, but there is the branding part. I don't know if that'll come anytime soon, the branding side.
Yeah.
But the fun side is there, and it gives people a reason to go to Facebook to do the function that they would do normally on Snapchat.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I'm not sure what direction they're going to go with it. As far as, will they use it for, business? I could see it being useful if they happen to implement some of those features, but, I'm not entirely sure. So I think that, it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this plays out. I'm wondering if it's just more of a play to keep people on the site, or if it's something else. So,
yeah. And, everything they do isn't necessarily about business, directly. It's just keeping up with the Joneses in a way, and making the site fun and keeping, like you said, keeping people using the site.
Yep. So, yeah, so I'm interested to see kind of what direction we go with things, but, we'll see. So with that, anything else?
Here's what I think about that. Okay. All right, Christian.
And by the way, I also, the other thing, last week we mentioned that the Snapchat swap face filter. We mentioned the Face Swap Live tool as well. This is actually a feature available in Masquerade as well. So, so it's not owned by Facebook. That's actually going to be pretty neat, because I think that app, I mean, it seems to be really catching on as well. So, if you haven't tried that, it's pretty neat little app. So it is, I think it was free, right?
Yeah, it's definitely free. And we did this on Snapchat last week. And oh yeah, you can do it on here again too.
That's pretty cool. That actually looks like it seems to work a little bit better, by the way.
It does seem that, because Snapchat, it's a little tough.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you're holding your hand the right amount of distance away and all that. And this is, obviously this app, this is all it does, right?
Yeah.
All it does is the facial recognition type stuff. So it makes sense that it would work better.
So I'm going to keep moving here, by the way, unless we got anything else we want to talk about on this one. You got anything else?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so next item, Twitter. We're going to switch gears here. Twitter adds support for links within moments. All right, I got to write this up real quick and give it to everybody. Basically, what this is pretty straightforward. Now, if somebody happens to, if there's a link in a tweet or whatever that happens to get included in moments, it could be a link to a news article, blog, recipe, and so forth. If somebody clicks, or if they tap on it, it's basically going to take them over to that article, and then they can click out and jump back into the moment where they left off. This is actually nice. I like this little incremental update. I think this is going to make moments more useful. I mean, are you personally using moments a lot? I am not, but
I mean, I don't know about a lot, but I do. I definitely go in there and check it. I like moments. I think that was a really smart idea on their part to go that route. And I mean, it does make it really easy. It features, brings people's tweets, exposes people to the public. That it doesn't just use celebrities or brands or anything. It's just kind of anybody's that comes into that feed. They curate that feed somehow, and with the trending topics, and they pull them up. And there's regular people that have like 500 followers or something may pop up in there. So it's kind of cool. It's I like that they're nurturing the existing users.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is, if they're going to go that route, I think that's a key rather than constantly going for user growth. Like the investors want to see user growth, and when those numbers are down or stagnant, it's like a big deal. And really, to me, it's not what it's about. It's you got to get the people that are already invested in it and interested and like it. You have to get them to use it more and be more brand champions. Because I mean, there's some people that are on Twitter that are like, oh my God, I love Twitter. But for the most part, when people even that use Twitter a lot, they're like, yeah, no, I like Twitter, but there's always something else holding it back. And if they go down this route, I think it's a good way to approach it in the future.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I like that. I like this little incremental update. I think it's going to be a good wave to get people to kind of, to still stick with Twitter. I think a lot of, I still think like a lot of people, kind of bash Twitter and they think like, oh, it's not useful. But it's like, it is useful. It can be useful for certain things.
Yeah. Oh, and if you want to see how it works.
Yeah.
So here's Moments.
Yeah.
Here's Moments. You know what? Let me do this because this is probably going to be better. Maybe it's too bright. Okay.
That's too bright.
You gotta try it. So you're in Moments. You click on one. It opens up the main moment
summary. Yeah.
And then when you go into it, see on the bottom. Actually, that one doesn't have it. It's funny. Yeah. Let me find one that has it. That's funny. They don't all have it. I thought they all had it. They don't. It links to the tweet. There you go. Here's one. So in the gray, that's the link.
Yeah.
But they don't all have it.
Right. Yeah. So if it has one, basically, then you tap that, it's going to open it up, and then you're going to.
Yeah. Oops. So if I hit it, then it pulls up the screen, pulls it up in Twitter.
Awesome.
Like you would click a link in a tweet anyway. So yeah, I like it. Yeah. What else we got?
We got one last thing actually. And then we got tools. So I want to just say a quick shout out to Jeff Dagley for joining.
Oh, Jeff's in here. I missed it.
Here.
What's up, Jeff?
And thank you. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Jags.
And we're still rolling along with topics. So
he did miss Masquerade though.
Yeah, you missed Masquerade. You missed an Iron Man suit or mask.
Yeah. Here, just in case you missed Masquerade, this one's for you, Jeff. Here you go. There you go. There's me. That's me by the end of this Blab. I'm like Obama in after 8 years of a presidency. here's me at the start of the Blab. Here's me after the Blab's over.
So let's see. So last topic actually we're going to talk about was pretty quick change. Blab has a new thumbnail image that they're using, and it's actually kind of fascinating because I talked about this briefly. We're kind of wondering what direction this is going to be headed, and I actually think, by the way, our hunch was correct, in that it's going to tie into iTunes podcasting. Because if you happen to read the Blab blog, they actually had they did a little write-up on it, and they included a screenshot which showed iTunes. So basically what they've done, bottom line, is if you're using Blab and you're going to, you want your Blabs to look really good on the front of the homepage, for people that are on Blab that are seeing, what shows are going on, you basically now have to resize them. The size is 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. It was previously an awkward rectangle. And fortunately, there is a template, so I did give you guys a link to that. But basically, you can download a template, size properly for you. Simply drop your elements in there, get them sized properly, and export it as a PNG or a JPEG, and obviously hide the text layer that's in there. And you basically then have a very nice Blab image template. And I do want to say, overall, you are going to have to, if you are using Blab and you have other past episodes, you're going to have to go upload your template to that. It does look a little weird. So if you had something, for instance, this Blab was scheduled and I had to go change the template so that it would, be nice and square. Otherwise, it literally just cropped it on what you had there. So with that, that is.
It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Although they have, if you go on the Blab homepage, there's some of those other updates too, where I know they're working on the search, according to Sean, the CEO, they're working on making the search better. and they have the Blab thing right now on the left-hand side on the homepage to see when people are online. But the categories are, and I think they're coming back as part of the search, but the categories option to be able to find Blabs based on a specific list of categories is gone right now.
Okay.
So if you go to the homepage, it used to be up there on the left-hand side. It used to say, social media or marketing or business or podcast or whatever. And now that's gone. But I think that's coming back as part of the search feature, because it still allows you when you schedule Blabs, when you start a Blab, you still have to pick categories, or you can pick categories.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what direction they go. But I mean, like you and I said, I thought that it was going to be something tied into podcasting, and it looks like they're kind of doing that. So.
They're definitely focused on that aspect of it. They did the Lightning Con a few months back that featured, it was just podcasters all that one day. John Lee Dumas was on, some others. So that's a big niche area that they're trying to reel in to come and use Blab.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know there's mixed feelings about it. I know there's some podcasters that love it, some that don't think the audio is up to snuff. But whatever, it kind of depends where you are.
Yeah, absolutely right on that. Again, it's one of those things you have to roll the punches. We kind of see how things how things work. And I mean, again, it's not really like, the only real change is that, hey, there's a different image size, big deal. It does mean, you want to make sure your images look good, so that you can attract the right audience. So keep that in mind, if you are going to decide to do your own Blab live streams. So with that, by the way, I have, sure. And we have a question from, who's this? Dan Harrison King. Yes, you have a question. What can we help you with? By the way, I do wish that Blab would put the names over on the right, because I don't know the username sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. And this is Dan's first day on Blab, by the way.
Awesome. Welcome. Glad to have you here.
So in the meantime, while we're waiting for Dan, what do we got next up on the list?
Okay, so I'm gonna keep rolling, Dan, and I'll jump to your question.
Yeah. And Dan, when you want to ask your question, just do the /Q and then space and then type your question, and it'll pop up on the left-hand side.
Okay, so we're gonna tool number 1 is actually a new tool from Buffer. And it's called Respond by Buffer. And I think I know where Buffer's headed with all of this. But basically what this is a way for you to deliver, in this case, it's customer support on Twitter. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to give you an inbox. You're going to have the ability to basically look up, basically search and whatnot, conversations. And then you're going to be able to respond to them, decide if you want to send them a public tweet, a private note. And also you can track your mentions, see which ones you've responded to, which ones you haven't, search them. And then what's kind of telling is that there's a screen towards the bottom of their page about building a community of engaged fans. And so they have actually some features in here where you're going to be able to look up mentions for certain users, perform Twitter searches, and so forth, which, again, we know Buffer is not just a social media management tool for, it's not just a tool for just Twitter. I think that they're going to use this as a stepping stone to get, to bring in other networks possibly, in a way, almost compete with Hootsuite, because this is I think that's the direction they're going. They added Pinterest support at some point. I think I'm trying to remember if they added Instagram, but they basically, have slowly built on what their tool does. So now you have Buffer. I mean, it would just make sense to have Buffer and Respond by Buffer potentially as two tools that are available. One to help you quickly schedule, and then another to potentially make it easy to manage all of those things. In a way, it's almost like taking Hootsuite and breaking it apart. So that's tool number 1 for the week. Have you had a chance to try this?
Yeah. I jumped on when they announced it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And all that, and it was interesting. I don't know that I'll be using it a huge amount right now. Mm-hmm. But Yeah, it's got potential. It's definitely got potential.
I'm somewhat fascinated with this because it seems very expensive from a product standpoint.
As an add-on.
I mean, it's
like too, because if you're probably gonna, if you get this, it's because you probably use Buffer as well.
Yeah, but it's interesting though because it's okay. So it's free for one profile, one team member, email, delayed tweet, inbox. But then if you want to move up to their next higher plan, it's $39 a month per user per month.
Yeah, and then there's the enterprise option, which you have to call to get that, and it's single sign-on and all that stuff. It's which, really, who's going to use this? I could see where like a small medium-sized business would be on the $39 a month type deal, because you get unlimited profiles and unlimited team members and all that, team signatures. I mean, it's customized.
Right.
It's customized to a point. But if you're serious about it, I guess if you're serious about it, are you like if you're a company that's an enterprise company that's serious about doing customer service through social like that, would you even use this, or would you be already using something else? And
I feel that most companies are going to already be using something else.
Yeah,
it might be, for instance, and again, I mean, I'm not advocating for one tool over the other. I mean, I love Buffer, but if I'm, for instance, using Hootsuite, I'm paying $6 a month, $10 a month. Unless Hootsuite's going to raise their prices significantly, I feel like you get a lot more out of Hootsuite for that price.
On this end with the customer service, aspect.
I mean, yes, okay. So unlimited Twitter profiles. Okay, so I think you get unlimited with Hootsuite Pro. Unlimited team members. Yes, okay. So team members are going to cost you a little extra money, but I don't know if they're going to cost you $39 per user. Well.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, hold on. This is actually a little misleading, I guess. So it's $39 a user per month, but then it says everything in free plus. So it's unlimited Twitter profiles, unlimited team members. So is a team member a user? Like, what is?
No, I think the user is like the company.
Right.
That's how I'm reading it. And then you have unlimited number of people that can go in there.
Right.
So that's really that's going to be the main product. And then the enterprise level will be. Which I don't know. I mean, if it's $39 and then enterprise, how much possibly, just because it does single sign-on support, has almost 100% uptime, which means it's not going to go down on you.
Right.
Two-factor authentication and enterprise integrations, whatever those are. I mean, $100 a month. Like how much more can it be from $39 a month just because it's enterprise and has a couple of those extra things,
And I'm sure that $39 is not going to be $99. I'm sure it's going to be a lot more.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
just for those few security measures,
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at Hootsuite's the same way. I mean, like Hootsuite definitely goes, Pro is nice, and then you go to enterprise, and it's a significant amount more.
But if I'm an enterprise, I would definitely start at the $39 a month. It's unlimited. The big one is the unlimited team members, right? And then the team signatures, which means it doesn't look like it's coming from, you can customize those basically. The Slack integration, a lot of companies use Slack, and the fact that this integrates with that is huge. You can assign to different people.
Right.
I mean, these are all typically the things that would be in the enterprise.
Right.
So I feel like they're pushing more people towards using that $39 a month because it's more affordable and it's got all those types of functionality that, if you're a small to medium-sized business, the single sign-on and the 99.9% uptime, two-factor authentication, you don't care that much about that.
Right. It still makes me wonder. I mean, it's $39 a month. Most small businesses, I think, are they making, not to say they're not making $40 a month, but, are they making enough money to spend $40 a month on a product, on a tool to manage their customer support?
They're probably doing, so let's say, like we said before, that they already have Buffer, right? So if they're a small to medium-sized business, if they have Buffer, the chances are they're probably on the $10 a month plan that gives you like 10 accounts to manage, plus 39. So they purposely, obviously, kept it under $50 a month. So for $50 a month, you get 10 accounts managed through Buffer, plus all the customer service stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, to me, that's not. If you're a small to medium sized business and you're concerned about you need social,
Right.
You know, I would say that's worth it. You know, I mean, what, $600 for the year?
Mm-hmm.
It's worth it, I think, and it's worth it at least to try it.
Right.
At least to try
I mean,
it.
and I think, I mean, see, I'm still a little confused on the pricing, but we don't have to get stuck on that. But I mean, if I go to their like FAQs, it's like, okay, how much does Respond cost? The free plan for we're happy to offer 2 different pricing plans for Respond. The free plan for individuals, the pro plan for teams, $39 per month for each team meet. I don't know. So, I mean, it's all, I mean, kind of goes back to what you said. I mean, they're going to probably push people to the pro plan. So I would love to see almost like a package. I mean, at some point of, giving you access to Buffer and Hootsuite, Buffer and Respond as a package. Like if you're, using Buffer already, hey, we'll move you into some middle tier where you're not going to pay like, you're not going to pay $40 and $10. You're going to have something, maybe like closer to like 20, 25 or something. But so it'll be interesting to kind of see how this evolves. I mean, again, I mean, if your company, a lot of times, I mean, you could, most companies aren't going to need something like this, unless you're getting like a huge volume and you can't handle it, but I mean, it also makes me kind of wonder, why don't you just have like an individual, hire somebody, which I think, you could probably end up possibly hiring them for less, given, the amount of time that you need to have them do something, hire an intern or something like that to kind of have them, work on something like this. So
it's funny. So Dan asked this question. It was actually the question that we were talking about a few minutes before that. And then Sean came in and answered with the answer that he put in the Blabaholics group the other day. It was about search disappearing from the left side of the home screen. And Sean said it's coming back. So that's that. It's pretty cut and dry. It's disappeared now. They're working on it as, part of the beta. Sean said the same thing in the big Facebook group the other day about they're bringing it back better than ever, which is good to hear. And like I said, I would assume the categories are in there too, somehow, or will be.
Awesome. No, very good to know. Thanks for the update on that.
So next.
So with that, I forgot, by the way, I forgot we have 2 more tools to talk about. So number 2 is, this is actually called Design Feed. And I don't know if you've had a chance to try it out.
Haven't used it, haven't requested the invite or anything yet.
So just a heads up to everybody, it's in beta. You can request an invite. That link will get you an invite. Very similar to Canva, very similar to is there another tool? I think was it Relay? I think that we talked about.
Yeah, that's another one. But Canva, I mean, I think Canva is the one that a lot of people will relate, because that's what I thought of when I read this.
Yeah, and so very similar. So basically, though, what's kind of is one, it helps you with branding. So while Canva has Canva at Work or Canva at Work, you basically can create a brand kit and upload, your logo, your brand information, your footer text, all that sort of stuff. You basically put it all in here. There's also, you can upload your library. There's a nice curated content section to this. But I think what really makes this a valuable tool is that when you're going to create a design, you can put in some headline text, some subtitle text, a button text, and whatnot, and they will actually create something for you, or they'll give you some ideas, basically.
And the other thing too is it looks like it'll auto size, which Canva does. Canva does that, but the thing is when you click that button and you select the sizes that you want, if you put in a graphic of your own, like a picture, a background or something of your own,
right?
Or even if you picked one from the layouts and the words and everything, it resizes it, but it doesn't. This looks like it actually resizes it specifically and fills in all the gaps and puts it right to the edge and makes the headline the right size. Whereas in Canva, from my experience, it's kind of hit or miss. So if you make a Facebook post, for instance, and then you want to resize that to also be good for a Twitter post and a Pinterest post, Instagram, you hit resize and you get the different sizes.
Right.
But the graphics and the text aren't always, a lot of times they're maybe still in the middle. And you have to still have to play with each one of them.
Absolutely.
To get.
Yes.
Whereas this looks like it does it automatically.
Yes. Okay. So it does. It's actually kind of fascinating. So like if I basically go in to design something it will literally spit out a whole bunch of options. Now, the one part that I've not been able to see here is they basically give you, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Tumblr, and it looks like LinkedIn as well. But I'm going to just actually do a test real quick. So basically what you do is you put your information in, you can hit create. And then what it's going to do basically is it's going to spit out images of all these different sizes. Now, and it puts your text.
It connects to Hootsuite and Buffer.
Do what?
It also connects.
Yep.
To Hootsuite and Buffer.
Now, and it's kind of neat because they do pull in some like Creative Commons stuff and whatnot, which is kind of cool. So the one thing though that I have not seen in here, which is definitely, and it also pulls from a lot of different sources as well. So like you can select a bunch of different image sources like Flickr and Pixabay and Unsplash and Design Feed and so forth. One thing I have not been able to figure out though with this, and I have to play around with it a little bit more. I use, for instance, certain sizes for certain images on my site. I would love to be able to create something of us. Again, I'd love to be able to go in and say, okay, these are the sizes I need. Spit out the images. I love the fact that it creates, for instance, an image for Pinterest, an image for Facebook, and an image for Instagram and so forth. But I would like to have a little more granular control over the image dimensions.
And see, Canva, you can create a custom size that it'll automatically. But again, it does the same thing where you create that custom size, it creates it, but then the graphic and the text may not be perfectly sized for that new size.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that is kind of, I guess, one of the fascinating parts about this, because I mean, like for instance, my Pinterest image, it's saying, hey, use 735 by 1102. I actually think I use a different size for that because I use some other tools. So it is kind of fascinating that that you can't kind of make those adjustments.
Well, maybe it's just in beta, so maybe at some point down the road they'll allow that.
And it's kind of fascinating because there are a couple of images here that I've also created, and there's some that I can click on and say use it or tweak it, but then there's others I can't actually click on. I'm guessing that probably has something to do with the image, maybe. For instance, like some of these have a blue Creative Commons license. Let me see.
And the other thing on the website, it looks like there's something with they have an app or like some sort of mobile tie-in, because they show it on the website with the phone. Yeah, you can create a new design with what looks like an app or a mobile site.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, I would say. So here's the thing. Overall, I think that this is I like the fact that like it auto generates images, and I like that they do certain things well. I definitely think that Canva does certain things well as well. This is a little bit. I think this is actually kind of refreshing because honestly I haven't used Canva in like a while.
Yeah, see, I use it every day.
Okay, I kind of stopped using my own stuff, but so this is kind of fascinating that that you can go do this. I do wish I could do custom image sizes, but I guess we'll also get that at some point. So that's tool number 2, design feed. As I mentioned, it's in beta. Well worth checking out. And then tool number 3 is basically a tool called SaneBox. SANE. And
so, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Let's say you talk about this one. What is it?
Well, no. I was gonna just say I'm gonna put this link to. I have to find it though. This tweet that I put out last night, because I finally, after hearing about SaneBox from not just you, like a bunch of people, Brian Kramer, Tyler Anderson, like everyone on their podcasts, talk about it a lot, and I was always like, oh yeah, I should try that, but it would be like I'd be like almost asleep listening to a show, and I just wouldn't want to do it. But I put out a GIF. I'll put the link in here, but I basically put out a GIF saying, here's me looking at my Gmail inbox after using SaneBox just now, because I finally did it yesterday. I finally went on there, and here's the link. If anyone wants to look. And they tweeted me back. They were like, "This made our day," or whatever. Basically, so SaneBox takes your inbox and recategorizes everything and makes it more usable. I mean, I had don't ask why, but I had something like 13,000 emails in my inbox. Ridiculous, right? I know. So
I mean, I've got like 1,000, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
that's...
it's because I sign up for stuff. I sign up for newsletters and everything, and then I get other stuff and comes in. Just I never clean it out. That's the problem.
Right.
So it's this thing is made for me, and so I used it. It was like within like 20 seconds, if that. I used it, pop it in. I didn't even realize that I did it, and then all of a sudden my inbox was down to 100.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then it had sorted into the sane archive, the couple ways that it sorts it, which it totally was. I would say it was about 95% accurate in terms of the stuff that I wanted in my inbox, my actual inbox, compared to the archive or the save for later, sane later, I think is one of the categories. There was some sort of limit with like 5,000 was some sort of a cap on something, but they didn't like delete anything. It's all still there.
Yeah.
It's just archived. So
nice. And and it's interesting. So it kind of reminds me of I use Unroll.me, Unroll.me, I think. So I use that, and that works fairly well. It's nice because it kind of brings together a lot of emails that I get. If I get certain things, I basically just give me one email with this particular, with these subjects, and they show up in one email. That's less email I have to read. There's also Google Inbox as well, or Inbox by Google, I think it is. And, I use that for a little bit. It's kind of cool. And then there's also, what's the other one? There's also, I think it's like Airmail, I think. Yeah, Airmail is another one. Cloud Magic. Like there's all these different email programs. And, in most cases, like those are more for like touchscreens, and you can swipe across things and, hide something or say, hey, you know what? Or, the other one I also use is Spark. That one's actually really good too. And they have like features that let you basically take some of those emails and either quickly hide them or, have them remind you later on and so forth. So you can kind of quickly clean out your email. So I'm going to actually give this a try. I definitely, I think there's a lot of options available, but I mean, it is worth giving it a try. I think there's a 14-day trial, I think. So yeah, I would recommend giving it a try and see how it works. I might actually try that this weekend as well to see if I can, get my inbox down. So thanks for sharing that tool, by the way.
Yeah, man, I would recommend it. I used it and it immediately helped me.
And I want to say, and I guess the other thing also real quickly on this is, if I'm a business owner, the other thing I want to make sure that I'm doing is I want to make sure I stay on top of my emails because I might be missing questions from customers. I might be missing emails that come in through my my website and so forth, like important stuff. And it helps kind of get rid of all that clutter. It helps you stay on top of things. So if you're a one man team, or you just have a really really small team, but you get a lot of messages and whatnot, you may want to consider moving some of those things out of your inbox, using like a productivity tool. Or, just being sure that, you're paying attention to those customer support questions that come up. So, so with that, I don't have anything else I want to add. How about you or Jeff? Anybody else have anything they want to add?
I'm good. I actually, good timing. I got a hard stop here.
Okay. Very good. Jeff, thank you so much for joining, Vincent. Been a pleasure.
As usual. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining and listening. And, if there's any questions we can answer, feel free to tweet us at CKROKS, at Vincent Orlek, at Social Chefs, # Social Chatter. So with that, just want to give you guys a quick link to next week's show. If you want to go ahead and subscribe, that will actually get you on our email list so that you can go about getting notified about the topics beforehand, kind of know what we're going to talk about. And lastly, and by the way, so if you do want to get on the email list, you can text Social Chatter to 33444. It's going to get you on the list, get notified about future episodes. That's actually really cool.
Dude, it's endless. Like I love it. I really do love it. It's fun.
That's really cool. So with that,
that's great. Yeah, man, good show. Thanks. Thanks for everyone that hopped in.
We'll have a recap up in a couple hours, and if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to answer them. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night.
See you next week.
Bye.